Hey, Primal Punch here. Wanted to work on something today a little different. Kind of been inspired by some of the people doing martial arts and everything from their chairs. People that have become chair bound due to some kind of a health problem or like that. You know, I'm really inspired by these people. These guys and gals. That's hardcore, man. You know, it's hardcore. I don't know if they're cool with me mentioning their names or whatever. If they are, then you know, you guys just tell me on my channel, because I want people seeing you guys. You guys are hardcore. So I've been thinking about it, you know, and that's a good topic, not just for people that are chair bound, but for anybody. You know, I do exercises myself, kind of a mental preparedness thing. So, first time my wife sees me, man, she flips out. What are you doing? You know, because I'm sitting there, and I just imagine 2-3 guys attacking me while I'm sitting down. You know, what am I going to do? And she's like, I jump up, you know, and I block the first punch. You know, I take it right here, and I get up, and I'm throwing punches in the air, and she doesn't know, is it a mouse or is it a bee? You know, what's going on? So I do that kind of stuff, and these are good exercises. But what I haven't really worked on is the muscle memory for those moves, you know. And I think that's something cool. So I'm doing this without much planning, and like that. So I'd sort of like to start with the stick. I noticed a lot of them are doing the eskrima. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And Kali, and those kind of martial arts, the double stick. And I mean, those are excellent for hand-eye coordination, but I feel like if you're chair bound, you don't really have the ability to torque your body into strikes. So we need to work on being able to get more power in a shorter distance. More power in a shorter distance. And that might have to do with maybe using a heavier stick, slightly heavier, and I would say heavier on the striking end. And it's very easy to weight a stick for exercise and like that, because of course you'd be weighting it for exercise, you know, not for offensive purposes. And that's something that's very simple to do, is drill out or have someone drill out the end of your stick and simply put a bolt in there, a heavy bolt that just bolts down in, a little dab of some good glue, liquid nails or something, and bolt that down in, and you've just added, you know, a couple 3 ounces to the end, which just magnifies the beef. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, and these little tricks for working without the ability to torque off of your feet and without the use of your hips, to get a stick into play. Now, if I were in a wheelchair, I would want to have some nice little brackets. Probably make it out of wire coat hanger or something, and have yourself a nice 18-20 inch stick, heavy, you know, heavy as you can manage, maybe even, you know, 24 inches. I'm not sure what the depth front to back is on wheelchairs, but that would be a first step, you know, preparedness. Have something there that's easy to get to, but it's not so easy for someone else to grab. Like if you've got a, you know, a scabbard, one of those back-loading scabbards or something, that's easy for someone to snake. Right here would be good underneath the arm. Now, to get beef into it, on on eskrima and Kali exercise, I see, man, they're swinging around, and you're counting on kind of not missing. That's what those moves tell me. You're counting on not missing. They all got that, or you're counting on missing. They've all got that that swoop at the end. And these are bad. These are tough martial arts. They're hardcore. But I think without the ability of footwork and movement and hip torque, we need to focus on getting that stick moving fast. So here are some tricks, and I actually learned this from the mantis shrimp. If you get a chance, scope it out, man. Tough little nuts to crack, man. Hardcore little dudes doing this little crazy thing all fast. But here it is. A muscle works best when its opposing muscles are contracted first, okay, or tightened. So let's say you want to throw a punch with limited space and limited area for acceleration, limited distance for acceleration. Okay, so that punch, first feel your opposing muscles tighten, draw it back with that bicep just a split second before, and then move it, and you'll feel it different. Okay, kind of let your triceps and shoulder muscles fight against that bicep just for a split second, and then let it go, like it's coming off of a catch. Like you can feel an invisible catch here, and then it just catapults forward. You can get some decent speed in, and that's important. Also, you'll want to build up your forearms as much as possible. The more weight there, then the more you have in an arm punch, the more hit you're going to have. Okay? See? Just feel it against a catch, and then, you know, just get it in there. Now we're going to do the same thing with the stick. Here's a good exercise for you. Start out, and you're going to want precision control, because you can't overbalance. If you miss with a stick, then you're overbalanced, and if you're in a chair or you're seated, then that's going to put you just at even more of a disadvantage. So we want precision control. I'd like you to practice having that little stopper there, okay? So that you've got precision control. So if you do miss, you can immediately come back, okay? Immediately. And this is inspired by Bataireacht. It's spelled B-A-T-A-I-R-E-A-C-H-T. It's an Irish martial art. It's changed the way that I look at things. It's become a meditation for me, and just a huge part of my fighting life. So just want to throw that out. Now, this is gonna go off from the norm a little bit, and I'm going to include some theories of the Systema and my own personal theories on movement and the mantis shrimp. Alright? So here's your exercise. When you're going to throw a stick punch, which is just like this, we've worked on this in couch potato combat, okay? And we've worked on this in the Zombie Fighter Django stick workout, which, by the way, you can do most of from a chair. You can do it from a chair. Build those muscles. Build them hard and tight and lean. Alright? So we've got that stick punch. What we're going to do differently, and I've talked about the catches, this is how you get snap into things. Here's a catch. If I'm throwing a punch, I want that stick to be back a little bit behind, and then towards the end it's going to accelerate on my wrist snap. So you get as fast as your arm can go, and then a little booster, like nitrous oxide in those race car movies. Alright? So it's going to kind of come back, and here's how you can teach yourself to do this. Kind of hold on to it a little bit with your other hand. See what I'm doing? So that my punch goes forward, this stays back, and then snap that wrist. Snap that wrist. You're catapulting it out. You see that? Get some good speed off of that. And when that hits, it is smoking. It is just smoking. And now, I was going to go out and show the power of this. Sounds like 22 gunshots, man, hitting the tree. Paka, paka, paka. But here, we're in the desert, right? As soon as a tree dies, whoever near us cut the dang thing down, I guess. We don't want to remind people we're in a desert and trees die here, you know. But hey, if you're stupid enough to plant trees that don't belong in the desert, you know, you get what you get. But the tree's not there anymore. So I'm setting something up different. I'm going to need to try and enlist my wife to film it. I was inspired by Echo's cut tests on the milk or water jugs. So I'm going to do that with the stick. And I'm not going to do it first. You're going to get to see if it's got enough power to just blast a milk jug full of water open, and also some soda cans. If it's just going to blast them open, or if it's going to bounce them. Now, I'm betting on the former. It's going to just tear them open. The concussion that the stick puts out, and all that force narrowed down into just a small area. It's amazing. Now, I would like you to work on this. Okay? Just even hold your arm out and just practice that wrist snap. Just that wrist snap by itself. And then, you see? And make sure it stays on a fairly flat plane, okay? That is going straight out from you. No funny business. you know, and also work on this. And same thing, okay? You throw that punch out, and then that crown, it snaps at the end. Watch the acceleration. I don't know if you'll be able to see it well, but watch. That acceleration at the end. And it just hits incredibly hard. And these can be used at a downward angle. You know, you're going to split somebody's kneecap, man. Because if you're in a chair, you are at a distinct disadvantage. But you can turn that disadvantage to an advantage if you hone your fighting mind and you just go for it. Split a kneecap. Come at that leg from the side. And you've also got these. If you're coming out of here, spear them in the gonads, you know. Spear them in the gonads. Click them one more time in the gonads. Crack them. Crack them. Crack them. You know. And then just go to town. Just go to town and beat them all the way down, man. And then you just be like, roll over top of them. Boom, boom. Man, back over. Boom, boom. What's up? Shouldn't have messed around. Shouldn't have broken my house. Shouldn't have messed with my stuff. I'm telling you, man, you guys inspire me. I think it's really cool. But I'd like to see you try outside of the Eskrima and Kali. I'd like to see you try, because I think you'll be well pleased with the results. Even if you just use my stuff as exercises here, I think that Bataireacht would be a great fit for you because of the ability to get a lot of smoke and steam with just your arm. I'm talking about just plot, not a welt. I'm talking about massive damage, deep tissue damage, hemorrhaging, split bones, you know. Great stuff. Great stuff, you know, if you're being attacked. So I'm really inspired by you guys, and I'm going to work on some other stuff. You know, probably everybody's bored by now, but there's other things too, you know, without the stick. And been thinking about it, you know. How do you defend yourself? What do, you know? So I highly recommend, you know, little weapons and like that. You got just a little knife and one stick. Then you can go a long way with that. You know, it seems like a neck knife might be a decent idea, but I really like the idea of you know, maybe you glue magnets to a single magnet to a pocket knife, and you can have it stuck to, you know, the underside of the arm of your wheelchair, and that's a nice little hidden spot. You just reach down under, and boom, schnick, that knife is open, and just cut whatever's closest, you know. And these are in really bad situations, of course. You know, you're not just going to do this for fun, because you're responsible. And defending against punches, I mean, that's tough. That's tough from where you're at. You're limited in your movements, so it's mostly going to be shedding. You're gonna want to shed, you know. Don't completely block unless you have to, because blocking is still better than getting clocked, you know. So if you can shed, that's great. Where you kind of turn it off, you know, sort of like instead of taking it, you're sliding it off of you. And you want to counter punch, you know. Try and get a hold of fingers. Fingers break really easily if you can get a hold of them. And I'm going to work on this more. I just did this kind of unscripted, just jumped in because I'm just really inspired by you guys. It's just hardcore, man. Seeing you guys doing the Eskrima, man, I'm having all kinds of trouble with it because it's different for me, you know, because I'm more, I don't know how to put it, man. You know, it's just not matching me. But I'd like to see you try it. So that's what I got now. Work on the stick punch. Okay, you let it come back just like this. Your fist travels forward first, and then snap it. An afterburner, nitrous oxide with the stick, and try that crown. Same thing. If you need to practice, do it like that. All right. So just practice that, and let me know what you think. And I really dig you guys, and let me know if it's okay to mention you.